Hey kids, how's everybody out there in YouTube land this evening? What is going on? What's happening? What it is, diz. Anyhow, great day here on the Lily 2 in wonderful Bookie Harbor, Marathon, Florida. Me and the dog just having a hell of a day. Just having a hell of a day. Oh man, I hope you guys had a good day too. Nice shirt. Well, thanks, Rejects. Yeah, I can now once again fit into a lot of my clothes that I was not able to fit into for a long time. So that includes this nice looking Hawaiian shirt that I have. So amongst others. So yes, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Anyhow, interesting day today. Hey, Smokin', what's up, dude? We took the dog for a very long walk this morning, but I must admit, I did sleep in a little bit. I didn't do a damn thing. Hey, Pilot, what's up, brother? I didn't do a damn thing. Okay. All right. Oh, man. Happy this year. Yeah, 2019, everybody. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 2018 is over. Hey, 2018 was an awesome year for me. Absolutely awesome, fantastic year for me. And so, and I'm very optimistic, very, very optimistic that 2019 is going to be even better. So, anyhow, looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. So, oh man, hey Frank, how you doing this evening? How's the wife doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Hello, Marie. Hey, happy person. Happy Marie. Yeah, happy New Year. Cool. Anyhow, me and the dog had a good time. Went for her walk this morning early. Actually, not early. Not early. I'm going to correct myself. We went for our walk. We got over to the dock and started our walk at around 7, which is really late for us. We're usually done and back in the boat by 7. But I slept in last night. I don't know why. I didn't stay up late. I was in bed by 10 o'clock. I didn't, which is normal for us, but just slept in. I felt very good, comfortable, and relaxed, and got a good solid night's sleep last night. So I woke up actually because Miss Lily was kind of getting anxious and wanting to go. She's like, "I gotta go. Get your butt up out of bed and let's go." So anyhow, took her for her walk, and I met up with a couple fellows that gave me an idea. Apparently, these two fellows walk every morning over to Publix and back. Now, I've never seen them before doing that. But today I understand, or maybe they just started today, I don't know. But they're going to walk to Publix and back every morning, which is a 2 mile, excuse me, not 2 hours, 2 mile walk. So about an hour walk. And I walk pretty slowly, so I walk at about 2 miles an hour, so it'd be about an hour long walk over to Publix and back. But I got to thinking, that would really make so much sense for me in so many ways. Not only would it give me a good exercise routine to do every morning, but it would save me the cost of hauling groceries and stuff back to the boat on my, once a week or once every 2 week shopping trips that I've been doing, because I wouldn't be having so much volume. I could simply take a little backpack or something and every day pick up 1 or 2 or 3 items and just constantly be keeping the boat stocked up with stuff. I could eliminate some of the losses I've been having in refrigeration from stuff going bad by simply just buying fresh every day. So, and you'd have someone to talk to. Okay, I have lots of people to talk to, but okay, Pilot. Yeah, yep. So, I don't know. I think I may. I think I may start that. In fact, I was talking to Lily here, and I think we're going to start tomorrow. I can walk over there and, just maybe even to the point of getting in the habit of saying, well, what am I going to have for dinner this evening? Let's walk to Publix, buy the groceries we need for dinner, and then be able to come back to the boat and make dinner. So, yeah, I know what you meant. Not a problem. So anyhow, that's going to be part of my new routine. Guys wanted to know about some of my New Year's resolutions, getting in shape and continuing my weight loss. In fact, kicking the weight loss up a notch into a higher gear is definitely one of the things that we're working on, and so that would be a good way to achieve that. going for that walk every morning would really help. So, oh, let's see. Marie says, Mr. Brook, is your hair due on purpose style? Just wondering, that walking is a fantastic deal. No, my hairstyle is not on purpose. My hairstyle right now is in that in-between stage between keeping it really short or letting it grow. If I'm going to let it grow, it has to grow out a little bit before I can start controlling it. It just kind of sticks up like that until it gets a little longer. Now you notice the sides are laid back nicely and look neat and groomed, but up on the top I've got this kind of like young punk kid, you know, hair standing on end kind of thing. Hey, I'm just glad I still have some hair up there. It's getting a little thin, but got a little curly Q up here in the front. It's kind of fun. I'm just glad I've got hair still up there. So what I'm doing, Maria, is I'm waiting for it to grow a little longer. Yeah, nice fro. I'm waiting for it to get a little longer so I can get it to lay over. Right now, it's just not going to lay over. My hair just doesn't do that until it gets longer. So for the time being, it's just sort of comical, which is why whenever I go out in public, I do that because I'm waiting for that hair to grow back out. Now, the other option would be to cut it back short again. And I could do that. I could keep it really short all the time, but I don't know. Thought I'd let it try to grow out and see if I can't groom it over so it looks halfway decent. So there's a story on the hairstyle. Yourself and dogs don't count. Lily will walk. Yep. Oh yeah. Lily won't have a problem going over there and back. The problem will be once I get over there, what do I do with Lily while I'm grocery shopping? Because I can't just leave her. It's perfect, easy upkeep. Yeah, pretty like nothing. There's nothing. I can run a comb through it and a brush through it. Doesn't do any good. It just still sticks up. So once it gets a little bit longer, it'll become more manageable and it won't be such an issue. So saving money on combs. Yep. Anywho. So I took the dog for a walk this morning, spoke to those guys, going to start that exercise program. That sounded like it's going to be a good idea. Got in the dink, brought the dink back here to the boat, and just got the business. You know, I just got on the boat and jumped right onto my real estate stuff that I'm working on, and some videos. The other day, yesterday, I mentioned to you guys that I went out and I filmed stuff with my drone, and there was no footage. That I flew the drone and there was no footage for some reason, and I thought there was an issue. So this morning I worked on the drone a little bit. I didn't work on it. I took the disk out and put it back in my computer to try reading it again, and there was nothing. So I put it back in the drone and I plugged the drone in and turned it on and powered it up, and without blades on it, so it couldn't take off on me, although it tried. Anyhow, I fired it up and kind of handheld it, moved it around the boat here with the camera working, and then shut it all down and took the disc out to see if it filmed, you know, what I was filming here in the boat. Well, not only did it film what I was filming here in the boat, but also the missing footage from yesterday all of a sudden miraculously showed up. So I'm not really sure what happened with that and how that happened. But all of a sudden, all the footage that I had shot yesterday while flying the drone over in the Sisters Creek area, I recovered it all. So that was cool. So I inventoried all that footage and got it all identified and cataloged. And so I'm ready to go to town on that. What I also found was, when I shot my Catch, Clean, and Cook video, a couple weeks ago. It's been that long. Wow. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. I was really unhappy with the audio because I had left the generator running while I was filming that. And when I went back and reviewed the footage, my one camera really picked up the generator noise and it was hard to hear me. Well, what I discovered today was my other camera, the one that goes up here, had recorded the audio beautifully. You could hear the generator in the background, but the audio came out really cool. So what I'm going to have to do is take the audio track from that camera and use that with the footage from the other camera. I can do that. I have the skills to do that. So So again, another good thing that came about, and so those two videos are very much in the works right now, and I'm hoping to get one of them, or maybe both of them, but at least one of them out tomorrow. I'm really hoping to get one of them out tomorrow. Possibly the catch, clean, and cook video will be out tomorrow. So let me see what I missed in the chat. Hey, has been. Hey, Carl and friends. Caught a live stream this morning and this evening too. Hope all is well with you, Carl, and everyone else. Hey, man, Chief has been. Everything is awesome here on the boat. Absolutely awesome. Mary Matthews. Well, happy 29, Mary. How you doing? Good to see you here. What did you film yesterday? Andy, I filmed some fishing yesterday. Me fishing. I used the drone to get some good overhead shots, which I actually was filming that for my harbor cleanup video, but I'm going to use some of that in the fishing video as well. And I also filmed, took my big camera out and shot some, close-up zoom stuff of some of the bird life that is around the harbor here, and was able to get some good footage, but a lot of it was just, really shaky kind of stuff. I mean, trying to drive the dinghy in the wind with waves and other boats coming and going, and the boat constantly trying to turn left or turn right because the wind's blowing it around. My camera skills were like crap. I can't believe how bad some of that footage came out. But some of it, enough of it, I think, came out pretty clear and pretty steady. So we're going to be editing all that stuff and getting that put together. So today, after cataloging that stuff, which I did a little bit this morning, it was mostly today was spent doing real estate work. I follow up on expired listings as a big part of my real estate business. And needless to say, December 31st is a big day for listings to expire. In fact, I was sort of surprised at how few. There was only like 50 or so listings that expired, which I thought was really, I was expecting like 100 and something, or 200, and I was really surprised only 50 of them expired on the end of the year. So, but that was, a good list for me to compile, and I got all that compiled and written. I have to print the letters. I had to order ink for my printer, because apparently if it loses any one color, it just won't print anything. And I was out of yellow. So even though the letters that I'm trying to print are black ink and don't use yellow, the printer wouldn't print without the yellow cartridge being filled. So I ordered it. It was going to be in here today or yesterday, but of course the mail wasn't running today, so it'll be here tomorrow, and we'll go from there. But okay, so that's what I filmed yesterday, and got a lot of good footage from that too. Hey, Mike James, good to hear, Marie. Okay. Sailing offshore, I meant, could you leave Lily outside of store by herself? Offshore, normally that would not be a problem. I've seen a lot of people do that. However, there are some trash people that are here in the area that have, in fact, threatened to steal my dog. So I don't let her get out of my sight. So I will either, leave her secured on the boat, or I will take her with me, or maybe I'll have one of my friends watch her while I go inside to pick up whatever I need. I'll work it out. It won't be a problem. Yes, all rejects. I use Adobe Premiere Pro for editing. So turn on the generator delete function. Should be in settings. Generator delete function. I've never seen anything like that, pilot. In my opinion, not safe. Yep, Marie, I agree. I would never leave her unattended. So, nice seeing you since last year. Yeah, Coyote, I know. It's been such a long time, hasn't it? Try printing in grayscale. I did try printing in grayscale. Wouldn't do it. It would not print without the yellow cartridge. I told it to print in grayscale. I set the document to be in grayscale. I set the ink color to be in black. Wouldn't do it. So I have a black and white laser printer. I wish I could send you. No, it's all right, Gavin. It's all right. I just needed to order the ink cartridge. It was only like $6. One of the reasons I picked this particular Brother printer was because it each color It has 3 different color cartridges plus the black. Some printers, you know, it's just like one cartridge and it does everything. It's got all 3 colors and black in there, so that if you're running that and it runs out of yellow, but you know there's still plenty of the other colors, it just will stop printing because you know it's run out of one color. With this one, I can individually replace each color, and so that makes that a whole lot easier, cheaper, much cheaper for me from a production standpoint. So. Dark glasses and a cane might solve the lily problem. Yeah. Actually, I could get her a service dog certification and she could just come in the store with me. But I know a lot of people aren't happy about that. And she is still a bit too gregarious to take into a grocery store. She'd be jumping up on everybody and everything. So, oh, man. Pilot says I'm kidding. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, generator delete. Anywho, so that was our day today. We edited video. I worked on my expired listing, my real estate stuff. Got a lot of that done. And then I had a distress call. I had a damsel in distress today. A friend of mine was on the dock and her dinghy wasn't working. She couldn't get her outboard started and she needed to get back to her boat. So she called me up and asked me if I could give her a ride. And I said, sure. I needed a break anyway. You know, I was like right in the middle of it, but I needed a break to get away from it. So I jumped in the dinghy and I ran over to the dinghy dock and picked her up she had a bunch of packages and stuff. And I gave her a ride to her dinghy. And, she's a really nice, sweet lady, and somebody that I'm not going to name names or go into detail, but somebody that's in the chat this evening will understand when I tell you that she's going to be the recipient of a bottle of wine here pretty soon, like probably tomorrow. And so anyhow, nice lady. Man, she was looking good when I picked her up. Wow, good looking woman, really good looking woman. But anyhow, had fun rescuing her. And, you know, I've been helpful to a lot of people around the harbor. I've been giving lots of people free rides in and out of the harbor. But I think tomorrow I'm going to announce that I'm going to start charging for rides. I'm going to get on the cruiser's net tomorrow and start letting everybody know that from now on I'm going to have to charge people for a ride. Yeah, I think I'm going to require at least a hug or a handshake. That's payment. That's going to be payment. I don't mind giving someone a ride, but I got to at least get a hug or a handshake out of it. So, I know. All you guys were thinking, all the trolls were like, oh my God, he needs a permit, he needs this, he needs that, he's got to be a licensed captain to give her a ride. I could just hear all of them jumping to all those conclusions and jumping and going nuts on that. And so I'm having a little fun screwing with them. But no, yeah, I'm going to charge, I'm going to make it publicly known that I'll give a free ride to anybody, but it requires a hug or a handshake. So, go for the free reach around. Oh, God. Oh, that's bad. Gavin says creepy. That's not creepy, man. Come on, that's just being nice. I'm having some fun and making a joke. My gosh. See, that's the problem with our society now. So many people take stuff like that and just twist it around and make something sorted out of it. There's nothing sorted with that, you know. That's just putting a little human in my being. That's all I'm doing is putting a little human in my being. Anyhow, so I'm going to tease her with that. Tell her she owes me a hug or a handshake. So, anyone else buffering? We're buffering. Yeah, I'm not buffering on my end. Maybe you should switch to Tylenol instead of buffering. I know, bad pun. Bad pun. Bad joke. Bad joke night tonight. This is what happens when you get me when I'm not drinking anything. So, pilot says, nope, good here. Okay. Frank's not having a problem. Marie's not having a problem. Mary's not having a problem. All right. So, Andy, you know, I'm sure it's buffering because the signal takes so long to get over to the West Coast. You know, you're running into a bigger delay getting there. So, Anyhow, so that was our day today. Got a lot of real estate work done. To the point where actually my back and shoulders was hurting me from doing all this stuff, you know, setting up the database of all the names, writing out all the letters, and hand addressing the envelopes and sticking the stamps on and getting all that stuff together. Tomorrow, the print cartridge is going to be at the marina office tomorrow. I'll pick it up tomorrow, print the letters, and get them in the mail tomorrow, and that'll get done. I'm going to work on editing tomorrow as well, see if I can't get one of these videos kicked out and get that out in production. So, oh man. Anyhow, so that's kind of where we're at. So, 5 boats down wants a huge hug. That pretty boy, 5 boats down wants a huge hug. Okay. Mine cut out. Okay, Hasbin says he cut out, he refreshed it, and it came back fine. Okay. 3 different time zones is the problem, Andy. Yeah, it's confusing the signal. Andy's still recovering from last night. Yeah, maybe. And speaking about last night, you know, actually Andy had suggested that maybe I get up at midnight and do a midnight live stream with all the activities going on here in the harbor. Well, let me tell you, at midnight there wasn't a whole lot of activity here in the harbor. There was nothing to show. A couple boats over, some guys blew their air horn once or twice. I heard 2 blasts of an air horn. I heard some people cheer, but that was it. I mean, it lasted like 5 seconds, and it was all over, and the harbor was quiet once again. So yeah, nobody was doing much. You have to understand, this harbor is full of mostly seniors, mostly, not all, but mostly. And you know, all of us are, you know, we get up with the sun and go down with the sun. So by 10 o'clock, it's pretty much quiet in the harbor. By 10 o'clock, it's really quiet, you know. Everyone's has their generators shut off and their engines off and the lights off and have gone to bed. So just the way it is. Just the way it is. And it's not just this harbor, but that seems to me like a lot of the cruising community, you know. Party hardy till, you know, till 9 or 10 o'clock, and then everybody crashes. So anyhow, Richard Dawson kissed everybody back then. Fine, now jail. Yeah, right. Andy Silver, okay. Dinghy rides could have 2 meanings, Carl. Oh, Gavin, get your mind out of the gutter, man. Sounds like you have that ancient Chinese disease, Lakanookie. No. No, not at all. But yeah, that is a sad commentary, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, Richard Dawson, everybody gave Richard a kiss, and that was perfectly acceptable, and now everybody's freaking out about stuff. You know, the pendulum swings one way and then it swings another, you know, and we're getting into that time slot right now where, you know, we're getting into, what was that, the very Elizabethan type era where everybody was uptight, and it'll swing back another direction. It'll probably swing back during my lifetime, hopefully. So, offshore Joe Biden loves a good hug. Okay, let's not be political. Let's not be political. And anyhow, so that was our day, and that's kind of our plan for tomorrow. Me and Miss Lily had a good day, worked on a lot of real estate stuff, worked on cataloging a bunch of video, got the footage off the drone, which I was really happy about. Monitored the other video that I shot of the wildlife and stuff. That all came out nice and clean. You know, shaky but clean. I like it. I caught a fish yesterday twice. I caught either the same fish twice or 2 fish that were almost identical. And I had trouble identifying it. It kind of looked like a bonefish. But it had a spot on its tail like a redfish. In fact, it had 2 spots on its tail. One at the very end of its tail like a redfish would have, and then one about, you know, 2 or so inches above that. And and it didn't have redfish markings, and it was about a foot long, maybe 14 inches or so. But both of them were the same. And so I wasn't really sure what it was. So I went through all my guidebooks, looked up everything. I even took out my big books on all the fish life and stuff here, and still haven't found any pictures of it exactly. But I believe what it is I believe what it is from going online and doing some research. I believe they were juvenile redfish. And I threw them back. I wasn't sure what to do with them, and so I couldn't identify them. So I threw them back so I wouldn't be, taking something I shouldn't have. Didn't have the right slot limit or what have you. I think they were juvenile redfish after further review. And after reading about that, they really don't taste very good. Redfish are not considered really good eating. Yeah, you can eat them, but they're not considered really good eating. So tossing them back didn't really bother me, but they were fun catching. They put up a hell of a fight. In fact, I have to say I'm very impressed with the fighting ability of saltwater fish. These fish down here in the Keys fight hard. They bend their rod nicely. Of course, I'm using pretty light equipment, but it's been pretty sporting and kind of fun catching them. So we're gonna be doing a lot more of that here in the new. Just a statement, not political. Joe Biden likes hugging. Okay. When Miss Lily helps you, what does she actually do? What do you mean when she helps me? When she helps me do what? Red tail shark. No, gotta go. Hey, Chief, take care, brother. Yeah, Happy New Year to you, man. Okay. All right, well, Joe Biden likes a hug. There you go. He's a politician. That makes it political. You got to be so damn PC now, you can't even say the T word anymore without everybody jumping up and down. Everybody's excited one way or the other, but whatever. Whatever. Anyhow, I also worked on my schedule this morning, planning out my year and trying to figure out stuff to do. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight. My fan is slowing down. My generator's off. My fan is slowing down. My one battery in the boat just is not holding a charge anymore. I turn the fan on before I go to bed, and by morning, or sometime in the middle of the night, the fan stops. And it doesn't take very much electricity to push the fan. I start the generator up, put the charger on, charge it all day. All day. Charge it up till it reads 100% on the meter. Then I kick it down to 2 amp and let it go 2 amp in the afternoon. So it should be fully charged and 100%. And so far, the only thing I've been running this evening is powering the iPad and the fan. And it seems like it's taking it down. So the battery's having a problem. Gonna have to replace the battery, apparently. In any event, planning out for my year and things to look forward to. Interesting stuff, actually. I did some research about the hunting seasons here in Florida, and I found that about 100 miles or so from where I'm at, there's a big wildlife management area. In excess of 100,000 acres of wildlife management area. And it was interesting to research that and learn a little bit about that area. I think I'm going to try to get myself organized, if I can, after I get my first commission check. Obviously, I'm not doing anything until I earn the money to do it in that regard. But I think I'm going to do some spring turkey hunting. I think I'd like to go spring turkey hunting. I have harvested eastern turkeys. I have harvested Rio Grandes, which is a different subspecies of wild turkey. The other two common species are there's a species down in Mexico, forgetting the name of them off the top of my head, and down here in Florida there's a subspecies called the Osceola. I've never harvested an Osceola, and I have not harvested one of the turkeys that they have down in Mexico. But from a standpoint of hunting turkeys in the United States, I've hunted eastern turkeys and been successful harvesting them. I've harvested Rio Grandes up in Montana and was successfully able to hunt them. And so now I'm looking forward to harvesting an Osceola. And that would that would give me the Grand Slam, they call that. That's a Grand Slam. I'll be able to harvest one of each of the subspecies of turkeys native to the United States. And turkeys are a noble bird, and they're very difficult to hunt. They're very, very difficult to hunt. You got to use all kinds of calling techniques. We can put out decoys and stuff for them to get them into the right shooting position. It's kind of interesting. And you know me, any excuse to wear camouflage. Any excuse to wear camouflage. I mean, even my Hawaiian shirt's a little camoed. I'm gonna take advantage of that. So I think this spring, I may try to go out and do a little spring turkey hunting. I may have to sleep in whatever vehicle I buy. I'll have to sleep in my truck over there for a night or two. Me and the dog. You can only hunt from a half hour before daylight until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm allowed to take 2 turkeys. I would only take 1, but I would be allowed to take 2. So I'm kind of excited about doing that this spring. That might be something fun to look forward to doing. So, among some other things that I was looking at. But anyhow, let me go back and see what I missed in the chat. Okay, is Lily Eye quality control. Okay, Happy New Year from Germany. Hey D, Happy New Year's. Are you related to Elvis Travels? No, I'm not. 2 things: rotate your battery switch to the one you're not using and check the water level of both of them. Coyote, you're right. I probably should check the water level on them. You're absolutely right. No, I can't. They're sealed. They're sealed batteries. I can't check the water. They're sealed. They're the type that are sealed. That's right. So I came over from Elvis Travels. Okay, well, cool. No, we're not related, but we have similar afflictions. I'll put it that way. Do any spreadsheets? I remember you were big on spreadsheets back in the day. I really haven't. I'm not really big on spreadsheets. I did some videos talking about the accounting and spending on farm life and what it costs to run a farm and that kind of stuff. But no, I really don't have any spreadsheets that I'm dealing with right now, unless it's dealing with my real estate business, and I'm not sharing any of that information. So. I drink wild turkey. Well, there you go. Okay, I live in Germany too. Yeah, das ist sehr gut. How old is the battery? Maybe it's covered under warranty. Yeah, I bought it in April or May. April or May. I think I bought it in May. So it might be under warranty. Where did you ever hear that redfish were not good eating? My little book, actually. My little book says they're not good eating. And I left the book in easy reach, because I knew somebody was going to come up and object to me saying that. I knew somebody was going to say, well, what do you mean they're not good eating? Redfish are great eating. And no offense, Johnny Hag, I'm not trying to pick on you, but this is a book called Sport Fish of Florida. And one of the sections that he deals with in here is he talks about various fishes. And he does a whole little blurb about a various fish. There's the redfish. And if you read here, right here, he talks about food value. And I'll read it to you. On the redfish. See if I can get around where I can get some light here. Redfish up to around 10 pounds rank among the favorite fish of most anglers. Red portions of flesh do not have objectionable taste when fresh. Large redfish are protected at this writing and not the best of fare anyway. Now that's exactly what the wording was that he used. And I happen to agree with the other comments that he's made on here with other fish, like as example, triple tail, which is a really good eating fish. He says food value, one of the best. And he's right. Food value of triple tail is one of the best. Cobia, one of the best. So when he talks about other fish in here and whether they're good eating or not eating, like flounders, he talks about how good flounders are. Food value, they're among the best, I have to agree with his assertion. So if he tells me that redfish aren't particularly good eating, I'm going to believe him and not be too worried about not catching or not keeping redfish. Now, a lot of people do go fishing for redfish. They are a lot of fun to catch. They put up a big fight. There's a lot of commercial red fishing where people go with guides and go out, much like they do with tarpon and or what's the word? Bonefish. Bonefish. But you don't eat tarpon and you don't eat bonefish. They're not good eating fish, so people don't eat them. I know some people in the Bahamas have eaten some bonefish, but typically they're not. They're not a high quality protein. There's better tasting fish in the sea. So that's the way I look at it. Anyhow, what did I miss after that? Okay, I used to be a real cowboy in Montana. Well, so did I. When you say harvest, do you mean shooting it with a gun? For turkeys, yes. For turkeys, that would be shooting it with a gun, yes. I live in Osceola County. Cool. I used to hunt wild turkeys. Turns out they're at the liquor store. Yeah, the liquor store doesn't like when you start shooting them off the shelf. They get upset about that. Um, okay, Coyote, you're close. Okay, but it wasn't Jefferson. It was Benjamin Franklin. You had the right idea, but the wrong person. Benjamin Franklin is the one who suggested that the wild turkey be our national symbol versus the bald eagle. For one, it's a very patriotic bird. I don't know if you've ever seen a male wild turkey in the wild, but their head colors are red, white, and blue. So they're very much an American bird. Plus, let's face it, wild turkeys has provided subsistence and protein to all the earliest settlers here in our country, and without which we would not have survived as a nation. Meanwhile, the bald eagle, as impressive looking as a bird as it is, frankly, is a scavenger that eats dead stuff. It's not too different than a vulture or a turkey buzzard. So the wild turkey is. I had to agree with Benjamin Franklin's assertion that would have been a better choice for our national bird than the bald eagle. Okay. Is it true Carlos owns you? I don't no idea who Carlos is, and nobody owns me. I was a lake diver. Okay. I'm not a Syrian. You can still pry the caps off. You can still pray the caps off. I'm not sure what that's about. Why even go there? I'd close some deals first and spend off Ohio. Grandkids. At least that is what my priority would be saying. Well, actually, Jack, I'm kind of looking forward to getting my grandkids to come down here for turkey hunting. So I got to do a little scouting and stuff and see how good the turkey hunting is and see if I could attract them down here. I plan on doing the same thing with deer hunting as well, just to provide some other options. So, yep, I didn't go into that detail, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. My grandsons are, my oldest grandson is going to turn 9 this year. Still a little young to be going out hunting, I think, because he still shows a lot of immaturity in a lot of ways. He's got a little growing up to do, but I'm looking forward to the next couple of years of getting him out and having him go hunting. And if he could come down here to Florida and go Osceola hunting with me, that would be awesome. So, looking for a house in Key West. All right, well, contact me, PM me. I'll be happy to help you. I think that redfish are just as good as snook. Okay. Done right here in New Orleans. Okay. You don't want to eat the really big ones, and the small ones are delicious. Okay. Okay. Our bit to clean. Happy New Year, Joe. Happy New Year, darling. You need to read it again because it didn't say that. I just read it word for word, man. Dave, you selling the bistro? Okay. Black and redfish almost caused redfish to be extinct here in Florida. That's all the limits on them. Stuff on his channel. Okay, well, if Dave only has troll stuff on his channel, then there you go, pilot. You don't need to account to me. I'm sorry if I... Anyhow. Bahamians eat bonefish with bread to help the bones go down. Okay. The fat of black and red fish almost killed the species in some areas, huh? How much a month for the mooring and marathon? What happens if a hurricane alert? Mooring ball is $324 a month for my boat, and if there's a hurricane alert, you get the hell out of here. The fish is a red drum. Okay. What does troll stuff mean? Really, Mike? That's what I call it. So battery caps still come off on a sealed battery. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Did you see video of Putin using crossbow to shoot whales and dolphins? I did not know. Trash not troll. Yep. There you go. Marie's right. Okay, they hunt here, deer here in Alabama at age 6 or 7, boys and girls. Yep, and it all depends on the boy or girl. As a responsible, shooting instructor, I think that takes a bit more maturity. I don't think 6 or 7 is an adequate age for them to really comprehend what they're doing. I like in that I like 10. I like 10. I think 10 is a good number for them to start hunting. So, hey Gene, how's it going, buddy? I disagree with you in regards to the bald eagle. When I was visiting Alaska, I watched them swoop down to the water and grab salmon. We would be excited to catch it on the rod and reel. Yeah, I've seen hundreds of eagles, and yes, eagles do fish. They do fish, absolutely. But you'll also see eagles right with the turkey buzzers cleaning up carrion and stuff as well. So, Florida have a youth season for deer hunting. They do, actually. They have a youth deer hunting season and a youth turkey season. I think I saw a youth turkey season. I'd have to go back and double check. I'm sure you have. Yep, yeah, seen a lot of them up there. Actually, there was a ton. There was a ton of bald eagles up in Alaska. I would venture to say that there was hardly a day went by on my farm up there in Alaska that I didn't have a bald eagle somewhere. And if I was bothering to pay attention when I walked around, I mean, they were just common. They were common like, blue jays up there or whatever, sparrows. You would just see a lot of bald eagles up there. They were very common in Alaska. I've noticed coming down the ICW, I saw some bald eagles coming down here. There's some bald eagles here in Florida. Their range is excellent. I mean, they're all over the country, Alaska to Florida. You can't argue better than that. But I do like Benjamin Franklin's assertion, though, that the bald eagle provided substance and really helped a lot of our earliest settlers survive to be able to settle our country. So they played a fundamental role, actually. And I think that service to our country, demands a little respect in my book. So, but I do admit, eagles are impressive as hell. They really are. They're just impressive as hell. When you get up close to a bald eagle and you realize just how big they are. I've seen some bald eagles that, I mean, they look like they're 4 feet tall. I mean, they're big, big birds. When you get a big mature bird, they can be pretty good size. So they can be a little intimidating too. There was a movie, I don't remember the name of it. There was a movie where there was a scene of a bald eagle snatching a dog and flying off with it. I could believe that. I could believe that up in Alaska. Absolutely. Okay. Did that. I'm back in the chat. I got to catch up here, guys. So, eagles are common in Missouri. Okay, agree. When I was on the cruise portion, we saw them every day, similar to pigeons here in the city. Yep, lots of them. When will you have a real estate? I am a licensed real estate broker already. I've been licensed for a while now. Big wingspan. Bald eagle is probably good eating. I believe it's still illegal to shoot bald eagles. I do believe they still maintain protected status, although I haven't checked on that. But I don't imagine they would be very good eating. If you've ever gone duck hunting, you will learn that there are certain ducks that are you just don't want to eat. They taste horrible, like a coot, a C-O-O-T, coot. It's a type of waterfowl, shorebird type waterfowl. They're rank. I mean, they're horrible eating. They taste like mud. They're disgusting. But a nice hen mallard, pretty fine table fare actually. So, once again, just like this guy with his reference on food values of various fishes, the same thing is true of all genus. Whether it's mammals or fish or birds, some taste good, some don't. As an example, here in here in the United States, we have various different mammals. And let's just use, deer as an example, in the deer family. Moose is pretty darn good eating. I mean, moose meat is really, really good. Hard to get a better tasting piece of meat than an elk roast. An elk roast is absolutely fine, fine eating. Antelope makes a wonderful sage stew. Antelope with some sage and a stew, my God, that's awesome. But white-tailed deer taste okay, and it's fine. I mean, a lot of people hunt white-tailed deer and eat them. I've eaten every white-tailed deer we've ever harvested, and I've harvested hundreds in my lifetime. But white-tailed deer are not nearly as good at eating as a moose or an elk or even an antelope. They're just not as good eating. So, and I would put mule deer just one notch above whitetail as far as quality. Whitetail, whitetail. What do? We go out and we shoot big bucks, so you have that boar taint in the meat already. They're a little gamey. They're a little gamey. That's all. But that's my personal preferences. I'm sure others will find things different. Conversely, bears. Grizzly bears are practically inedible. The meat quality is very, very bad, but black bear's not half bad. Especially if you the suet, the caul fat on a black bear is excellent for rendering down. A lot of bakers want the bear lard for baking because it makes such a good light, fluffy pie crust. True story, guys. Anyhow. Let's see, they're a big wingspan. Yep, bowling probably good. Okay, Southwest Florida eagle cam is interesting. Eggs just hatched that. Well, cool. I didn't know we had an eagle cam down here. I'll have to check that out. Screaming turkeys does not strike fear into your enemies. Yeah, well, that's true, Mike. You are absolutely correct about that. Yes, the wild turkey is not what you would call a scary-looking bird. Kills me when I see people in other countries killing bald eagles. That's our national bird. Okay. Able to cover your MLS fee? Yes, actually. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I was able to cover my annual fee. Now I need to raise $50 to cover my monthly fee. That's how close I am. I was able to take care of the annual fee, although I had to kind of laugh. I went online to pay the bill today, and I couldn't. Their system said, it supposedly and what I've done in the past is just use my credit card to pay it. For some reason, that wouldn't take credit cards today. It would only take checks. So I guess I could go in there and drop a check off to them, but they weren't in, so I'm going to call them and talk to them tomorrow. But yeah, we were able to cover the annual fee for my MLS. But I need to raise $50 so I can start covering my monthly fee, because now there's a monthly fee. So fees and fees and fees and fees. So best sighting was seeing the eagles grabbing talons and spinning through the air for about 100 feet before letting go and flying off in different directions. Yeah, Gene, that's actually a breeding thing. That's, the male and females do that. So cuts stink inside. We call them mud hens. Oh yeah. You don't want to eat them. Pilot, is that the one located in Fort Myers, Cape Coral? Okay, MLS fees. I never had to pay to go on their website. Well, you don't have to pay to go on their website. I have to pay in order to be able to use the other resources. Anybody can get on and look at the properties that are for sale. But in order to service my listings, there's a lot of other things like being able to put my listings on there. If I want to put my listings on the MLS, I have to pay a fee to do that. So you're a licensed agent in Florida. I might be looking for a condo. Hey, if you're looking for a condo, let me know. I am a licensed real estate broker here in the Florida Keys. Lots of good condos available down here. So, we don't have antelopes and moose in Michigan. That's why we hunt white-tailed deer. Oh, Johnny, I understand that completely. Yeah. There is moose, though, I think, in northern Michigan. Isn't there some moose in northern Michigan? Maybe not. But boy, if you ever have an opportunity to hunt a moose, do it. You're not gonna. I mean, it's as good at eating as if shooting a nice cow. I mean, a moo cow, you know, a regular farm cow. So, too much for sport. Dan, wrong choice of words. Not sport. It is definitely not sport. I don't hunt for sport. I'm not a trophy hunter. I hunt to put meat on the table. So, and I love animals too. And I also understand proper game management. And without sport hunters, and which is an unfortunate term, but meat hunters, funding all the research and protection that goes into the fish wildlife parks, keep in mind that all of your Division of Wildlife are all funded 100% funded by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses. So there wouldn't be any protection. You wouldn't have any deer left in America if it wasn't for hunters and stuff wanting to hunt them. And I can argue that with you all day long, but that's the truth. Okay, perhaps you should email Carl. Yeah, go ahead and email me. That's fine. AlaskaCarl@gmail.com. I put my email out there. Alaska like the state, Carl with a C @gmail.com. Okay. Thank you, Woodbeast. There you go, man. There you go. There's my PayPal. If anybody wants to contribute to the adventure, that'd be great. Didn't know that. I thought they were fighting over territory. No, that's actually a breeding thing where they go up claw to claw. At least that was my understanding. I think there should be moose in the UP. Yeah, I thought there was some moose up in the UP too. Okay, that still has moose, but I don't think there's a season for them in Michigan, huh? Yeah, their numbers may not be really good there. Yes, moose in the UP. Okay. How are you an agent if you live on a boat with no vehicle? Don't you need to take a test? Yes, I've taken many tests and passed all of them. So, yep, not a problem. Yep, all right, guys. Thanks for that, Marie. Yep, Marie lost patience with that, and that was it. So he's gone. And thank you, Pilot, for taking out the trash. Appreciate it. Anyhow, so I was talking before about plans and scheduling. So I was working on my calendar and my schedule for what's going to be coming up in 2019, and I was also reminded of a few things. There's a couple channels that I like. I don't know if you guys have seen them. But there's a guy who does a show about kayak fishing out of Key West. I think it's like Key West kayak angling or something like that. I'm not sure what the real name of it is. But it's sort of a Asian-looking guy. Maybe not. I don't know. Kind of borderline Asian-looking guy. Anyhow, he goes around Key West in a kayak, and he catches tarpon and sharks, and you know he's a good fisherman. He knows what he's doing. But he does a pretty good show. He's got like 100,000 plus subscribers, and he's doing pretty good. And then there's also Deer Meat for Dinner, which is another guy from here in Florida that does a lot of fishing, some lobstering, some diving, but he also does some hunting and stuff in there as well. And so I'm thinking, you know, I'm gonna probably start stepping up and having a little bit more broad coverage on some material. I'm probably going to live stream me turkey hunting. Maybe not live stream, but video of it anyway. And I may do a little waterfowl hunting coming up. May do a little duck hunting this fall. Maybe doing a little deer hunting this fall. In addition, I really want to step up my fishing activities. You know, Andy kind of, you know, wanted me to do a catch, clean, and cook video. But I have to admit, I've really been enjoying the fishing here. Just going out and sitting out there on my boat with my rod in hand and drowning a bait and having a little fun with that. You know, reminded just how enjoyable that is. So we're going to be doing more of that coming up here in the coming season. So sitting in a deer blind now, feral hog hunting. There you go. There you go. Yep, hogs are definitely something that needs to be dealt with. They can run amok. Hey, Captain Ludwig, what's up, man? Happy New Year to you. Finest meat I ever ate was at Axis I shot in Southwest Texas. There you go. Yeah, Bill. Axis deer are actually, I think Axis deer are African, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Thinking Axis deer came from some mountainous area, maybe South Africa or South America, like the Andes, maybe. I don't remember. I don't remember the origins of the Axis deer, but yeah, I understand they're pretty good fare. I've never eaten an Axis deer, so How's Catch Clean and Cook videos? Asian fellow good to watch. Yes, he's very good to watch. He does some excellent ones. I don't think I've ever seen him cook anything, Captain. I don't think he does Catch Clean and Cook. I think he does catch videos. I don't think I've ever seen him cook anything. Maybe he has. I don't know. I haven't watched all of his videos, but it just strikes me he doesn't do it. I've not seen him cook anything. So, hunting in the Keys or back on the mainland? On the mainland, Martin. There's really nothing to be hunted here in the Keys. Maybe some duck hunting here in the Keys, especially in the back country. But no, all the turkey hunting and stuff would be on the mainland. Yeah, but you didn't complete the Catch, Clean, and Cook video for Andy. Nope, but it is almost done. It is. I mean, like it may be out tomorrow. Almost done. So on the beach cooking. Okay, huh? Deer Meat for Dinner is a great channel. I like the Key West channel as well. He does cook pop. Okay, he does some cooking. Okay. Yeah, someone said he cooked on the beach then. Okay. I'm not much on high fence ranches. Feels like a zoo. Jack, I agree with you 100%. Yep, I agree with you 100%. One time in my life, I was invited to go do a hog hunt and a sheep hunt on a private property in Ohio. That was a high fence ranch, and I'll never do that again. Never. I mean, that was not. There was nothing sporting about that. There was nothing fair chase about that. In fact, the guy that was running that place later on got into a big problem where he had some guy come out and they were going to hunt. I think it was a bear or something. I think if I remember correctly, it was a bear, and you know they had concerns that if the bear came out of the cage, it was going to run off, and the guy wasn't going to get his trophy. And they were videotaping it, and they literally opened the cage door, and the guy stuck the gun in and shot the bear in the cage. And I was like, what in the hell is that? I mean, what is that? That's not hunting. I mean, that'd be like saying for me to go out into my hog pen and grab a hog and start butchering a hog, that was a hunt. That's not a hunt. That's a slaughter. There's no hunting involved there. So that's not sporting. That's not interesting. That's, nah, not at all. Catching the fish tomorrow so you can finish the video. No, I've done the fishing. It's done. I have all the footage I need. It's just a matter of finishing up the editing and stuff. So, thank you, Frank. Yeah, put that out there. If anybody can, if you guys can, I'm serious. I really need to raise $50. I know I'm bad about that, but I really need to raise $50. I got to pay my MLS bill. I've got my annual done. I got to pay the monthly. Cost me $50 a month to be able to have access to the MLS after I pay the annual fees to the MLS and local association and stuff. So got everything covered but that. I'm within $50. So that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. So access are from India as far as I know. Okay. India. Okay, I could see that. There's a lot of so they're Himalayan probably. Because India, the northern mountain range of India is part of it's Afghanistan, and the other part I think is going over to the Himalayas, I believe. Don't they border Nepal in that area? So Don Jr. hunts lions on fenced property. Yeah, I don't see any sport in that. I don't see any sport in doing that kind of hunt. But whatever. Everybody has their tolerance and their choices. Everybody has to make their own choices as far as what's fair ethics for them. I like hunting in the wild. I can't fathom any of these kind of caged hunts and stuff. But I also am a proponent of hunting only from the standpoint that it is, well, not only from the standpoint, but it's good management. As human beings, we've destroyed the habitat for the normal natural predators that occur, and so we're kind of taking on the role of replacing them. I'll give you guys a perfect example, and just to make it very clear, because I'm sure there's some people out there who are anti-hunters who are going to have a field day, with my comments like this, but. There's a story there's this island off the coast of Connecticut, actually, not too far from where I was sailing earlier this summer. And this island, you had to cross a bridge to get to the island. Kind of like the key deer here are down here in the Florida Keys. There's Big Pine Key has some deer on it, little key deers, little tiny things about the size of a Labrador Retriever, genetically stunted because of lack of habitat. Anyhow, this place up in Connecticut had a deer population. But it was mostly a high-end residential neighborhood, a lot of manicured lawns and, the people that hired gardeners to take care of the yard, not people that go out and do their own, farm or vegetable garden, but, really fancy stuff. And the population of deer had been maintained and managed by a limited hunt on that island forever, always has been. Well, as the natives got all upset, some clown, had a deer strapped on the back of his car and was driving around, and people found it offensive, and so they all got together and they voted not to have a hunting season, to stop the hunting on their island. Typical bleeding heart liberal nonsense. Anyhow, the first year everything was fine, lots of deer, everyone enjoyed it, no hunters, not a problem. The second year, there was a lot of deer. There was a lot of deer, but everybody thought how beautiful the deer were, and it was okay. And yeah, they got into my shrubs, but it wasn't such a big deal. The third year, the entire island had what was known as a browse line. You could see everywhere that everything from where the deer could not reach on down was all grazed off. Flower beds trampled, everything was shredded. Deer don't eat grass. They're not cows. They eat branches and browse, they call that. So the deer went through and were eating all the shrubs, and were eating all of the flower beds, and were destroying all the landscaping. I mean, there was this line on the island where you could see as you're driving around, where from the ground up to about 7 or 8 feet high, there was nothing, and then from 8 high, where the deer couldn't reach, of course, the trees and all looked fine and were doing fine. And so all the people started talking about, well, this is a problem, we're going to have to do something, blah, blah, blah. A lot of talk and no action. The fourth year, the deer population was off the chain. Deer were being hit everywhere by cars. It wasn't safe to drive around the island anymore. It was a real issue. And the next year after that, there was no deer. None. Not a single one. That winter, the deer population had exceeded its carrying capacity. The deer developed a disease. It wiped out the entire herd. Mother Nature will have her way. It wiped out the entire herd, killed off all of the deer. They had biologists come in and checked on them, and sure enough, the deer had developed a case of wasting disease, and every deer on the island died as a result of that. Now they had no deer whatsoever. So they eventually came around to going to a local hunting organization, and that helped fund the trapping of some deer and reinstating the deer on the island. They reintroduced some deer on the island, and from that day forward till this very day, they do have a controlled bow hunt on that island to maintain the deer population in check. And that's the problem. We've eliminated all the natural predators that the deer would have. So you have artificial populations, and the only way to keep those artificial populations in check is through sound management. And deer hunting is simply a tool to those managers, a way of controlling the population. So, and that's why they have things like, they'll say you can only take a deer of this size, or you can only take a buck, you can't take a doe, or, we have too many deer, you can take 5 bucks, or, and now like in Ohio, you can take like 10 deer or something ridiculous. It's crazy how many deer they want you to harvest now, because the population is getting too big. It's overgrazing its habitat, and going to be a problem. So anyhow, let me jump back in the chat. I'm sure people will be jumping all over that. Okay, okay, it makes sense. How to catch, clean, and cook this for YouTube videos. YouTube will demonetize because of the cleaning part. Yep, they certainly do. Years ago, hunted deer in the Big Cypress, just southwest of Lake Okeechobee. Yeah, and that's Captain George. That's actually the place I was going to go turkey hunting, is up in the Big Cypress area. Rob on Jimmy for dinner does catch, clean, and cook all the time. He doesn't get demonetized, or does he? Yes, he does, Andy. Yeah, if you watch some of his videos, Rob's had some real problems with getting his channel almost shut down from showing too much graphic stuff. Generate noise. Yep. What about overhuman population? Well, Dan, that's always an issue. Yeah. Yeah. But, unfortunately, they don't let us control the population the way they do whitetail. Not to talk politically, but to give you guys a little perspective, I'm a big advocate of corporal punishment. I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but there's an old saying that I learned a long time ago, and I agree with completely. Horse thieves were never hung because they stole a horse. Horse thieves were hung so horses would not be stolen. Now, if you don't understand the difference there, then that's on you. But horse thieves were hung so that horses wouldn't get stolen. The point was to make it obvious and apparent and a deterrent so other people wouldn't steal horses. Well, the same thing goes true with all crime. I think our criminal system is way too lenient, too left, too liberal. I'm not the good Lord. It's not my place to take a life, I guess, and I kind of agree with that. And so I do have some issues with the statement I'm about to make. But if we took some of these people that like this guy that killed an entire family, or these Timothy McVeighs, or these people that blew up the World Trade Center or whatever. Take Shea Stadium in New York, take the Eagle Stadium, take any of these major football places around the country, and put up some fencing and take these criminals and turn them loose in there, and let some local people pay huge amounts of money like they do to be able to go elephant hunting or lion hunting, for the right to off some of these trash people. Sell tickets to it and sell cable rights to it and make it public. It's just like, today's day and age, people get upset about hunting because they've gotten so detached from the fact that, somebody's committing murder in your name. That hamburger you ate at McDonald's, somebody killed that cow. The bacon you had for breakfast, somebody killed that pig. Maybe you didn't do it, but you paid for it to be done. So there's a certain honesty in harvesting your own meat. Just saying. So, and I think as a deterrent, if you were to take some of these, some of these gangbangers that, they just murder somebody in order to make their bones to get into the gang, that kind of ridiculous stuff, I personally would have no problem seeing some sort of public execution. I think we should bring back hangings, so horses wouldn't get stolen. Okay? Anyway, you want to float that, and if you want to not watch my channel and stop being a subscriber because of my views on that, that's fine. That's fine. You have as much right to your beliefs as I have to my beliefs, and I'm not going to tell you can't believe your way, and I hope you won't tell me that I can't believe my way. So, our priority, they kill our calves, skunks too, they have rabies. Yeah, Jack, I understand that, yep. Yeah, hogs can tear up a neighborhood, man. Hogs can really tear up your field. I know some guys in Montana where they had some hogs get loose there, and these guys would go out and plow their field, especially in Kentucky and Ohio too. These guys would go out and plow their field and plant, and the hogs would come through and eat all the seed out of the field before it had a chance to grow. So they are a huge problem. And coyotes and bobcats, yeah, they'll get into your sheep and your cows and stuff and kill them. There you go, Frank. Thank you. Speaking of removing natural predators, have you seen many lionfish by you? Gene, I have yet to see a lionfish, but to be honest, I haven't been diving yet, so I haven't had sufficient water quality in any places that I've been to scuba dive or snorkel. Well, I don't have my scuba gear, but to snorkel or free dive, I've yet to see a lionfish here. So I have to look after that problem. Aren't we buying wolves from Canada to kill the deer now? No. They started introducing wolves into Yellowstone National Park. That was a whole big disaster going on up there, frankly. There's a lot of, liberal misinformation campaigns going on about how the wolves supposedly are helping the park or what have you. Yeah, you don't want wolves. There's too many people, rejects. There's too many people in the East Coast right now to reintroduce wolves. You're going to get people killed. You're going to get people hurt. The reason the wolves were decimated and eliminated in the first place was for the protection of people and livestock. Nobody would have a dog or a cat left, and you wouldn't want your kids to go outside if you had wolves in your neighborhood. Wolves are protected species, can't shoot them. Jack, I disagree with you. It all depends on where you live, whether you can shoot them or not. They hunt wolves up in Alaska all the time. Montana just started wolf hunting as well. So if you go to Gettysburg, you'll see a ton of whitetails on the battlefield. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some areas are being overrun right now. Their channels, that's all they do. Dazil, etc. Yeah, I understand, Andy. Yep. They have lots of wolves up there. It's not safe to leave your home. What type of YouTube channel, Carl, is people blogs versus educational? Going off the ranch now. I guess I am. Meat is murder. I agree. Okay. Hardly anything is illegal in California these days. Criminals aren't afraid of the justice system anymore. There you go, Andy. I agree with that. Yep. Yep. Mike James, meat is murder. Okay, so you're a vegetarian then? I wonder how much those tomatoes were screaming as they were ripped out of the ground. When you pulled that carrot out and pulled it out of its house and diced it up, did you not commit regicide? Just because they don't make noise doesn't mean they don't feel pain. Stoning was a good idea. I don't know about that. What about DNA testing proving some folks on death row that were innocent? Well, Martin, I mean, there's always that argument. Yeah, there's always going to be those mistakes made, certainly. But, here again, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Had that person that was on death row watched the public execution of someone who had done the crime that they were contemplating doing, would they maybe have not done the crime, and therefore we would have eliminated that guy being on death row in the first place? Again, the whole idea is to be a deterrent to stop them before they do the crime. That way we're not, we're spending more money on prisons than schools right now, folks. It's not right. Maybe cut the hands off of thieves. You're right, get rid of the trash. Well, sailing offshore, it's interesting you brought that up. In the Muslim countries, they cut off the right hand. There's a reason why it's the right hand. The right hand is what the Muslim uses to eat and also to greet people, to shake hands. They use their left hand only to clean themselves. So by cutting off the right hand, they make that person a social outcast. So if you're walking through the souk, they call it, the shopping area, and you steal an apple from somebody and go running down, because you're hungry, you steal an apple, they'll cut your hand off. And if they do that, it's pretty much guaranteed you're going to die, because you won't be able to meet or greet anybody. You'll become a social outcast. You won't be able to feed yourself, because you won't have a hand to feed yourself with, because their religion tells them not to use the left hand to eat. So, anyhow. Gladiator games. Yeah, right? Animals are a lot kinder to the earth than man. Look at the people in India dump sewage and trash into the ocean. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. Absolutely. Agree totally with your views on the law. Okay, cool. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm caught up with the chat here. I'm really surprised that many of you guys agree with my perspective. I thought I'd get a lot of pushback on that. Okay. So anyhow, as part of some of our directional change going into 2019 is I'm going to start going more and more into those kinds of things. We're going to do more fishing. We're going to do more hunting. Of course, scuba diving. As soon as I can acquire some gear, we're going to be doing some scuba diving. In fact, I was talking to, there's some people here called obsessive compulsive divers. Great name, OCD. Obsessive compulsive divers. That they have a boat cleaning business here in Buki Harbor, and they go around cleaning boats for people and finding things on the bottom and that kind of stuff. And I caught them in a video I did. If you saw the video I did for the boat video called Dame, D-A-M-E, you'll see them on the boat, and the guy's holding up his little sign, obsessive compulsive divers, trying to get the marketing buck from me flying the drone around filming the boat, which I thought was great, guerrilla marketing at its best. I loved it. But I was talking to them a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a deal with them. I'm going to say, hey, if you guys will come over and clean the bottom of my boat, I will videotape you doing that and make a video for them from marketing standpoint. Make them a marketing video that they can use for like Facebook and what have you. And maybe I can trade them getting the bottom of my boat clean in exchange for that. But we're going to try to do more of that kind of stuff as well. So we got a lot of interesting things coming up. And they'll be coming up here pretty soon. So anyhow, let me go back and see what we got in the chat. And then I think we're pretty much into this. So we're going to get on with our evening here. But people who commit murder have death wish. They won't be impressed. Yeah, you might plain Dame that you always are going to have that. So I slaughter my own cattle rather than ship them to government slaughterhouses. 20 gauge slug to the brain. There you go, Martin. Yeah, you know that's taking responsibility for your own stuff. I always processed my own game meat. I always harvested my own turkeys. I always harvested my own cows and pigs. All that stuff. When you get your scuba gear, do you have a Hawaiian sling? Good content. Yes, I do have a Hawaiian sling, Andy. I do. And in fact, I've got a... I have a sponsor who manufactures scuba gear that will allow me to buy my gear at half price. So I could get the basics that I need for scuba diving for about $400, which is really cheap. For $400, I could get a set of regulators and a tank and a backboard, and I already have the mask, snorkel, and fins. For about $400, I can get my basic scuba gear kind of organized. Not ideal stuff, but stuff I can use. So that may be coming up here in the near future. So when my right hand was bandaged up after the spider bite, I went to shake hands with a Muslim using my left hand. He refused to shake my left hand, but lightly fist bumped my right hand. Didn't realize. Yep, that's why, Frank. They don't touch with the left hand. That's the hand you use. It's unclean. So, yeah. Hello, sir. Greetings from Baja, Mexico. Happy New Year. God bless. Hey, Matthias Salazar. ¿Qué pasó, amigo? ¿Qué tal? How are things down in Baja? Hope you guys are having a good time. Anyhow, kids, listen. We've killed off another perfectly good hour. I'm gonna put it out there. One more time. If anybody can help out and donate to the PayPal. I still need to raise a very little amount. I need like $50. I need like $50 to get me over a little bump right now. But if you can do that, that's great. If you can't, that's great too. Anyhow, but if you can, hit the PayPal, make a little contribution. I would love it. And if not, we'll have more content for you tomorrow. So, and I may have that catch, clean, and cook video out tomorrow. That's going to be a priority for me tomorrow. Plus, I have to finish my expires. I got a little work to do. So, yeah, sorry, Mike James, not sharing that. Not until I take advantage of that first. So, yep, thumbs up, guys, before you go. And as I say every time, guys, be good, be careful, take good care of one another. And in the description down below, there's a link to my PayPal should you want to contribute to the adventure. Oh, one last thing. New time. I'm going to start moving the live streams up to sunset. Instead of at 7 o'clock, we're going to start moving the live streams to sunset so that we can show the sunset every evening here in Boot Key Harbor. Get some better visuals, be up on the deck on the cockpit, not down here below in the dark. It'll save me a lot of money, energy-wise, electricity-wise, battery-wise, and it'll provide some more interesting content, prettier content for you guys to look at besides my ugly mug. So with that said, that's going to end it for tonight, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.